Hello students, today we're going to use a special acrylic paint to paint our little pinch pot creatures. I'm using a popsicle stick just to get a very small amount onto my palette or my plate. Start with the maximum of 3 colors today. You will always have a chance to come back and get more colors, but start with only 3. We're going to have some water for each student, and I want you to use your brush to add water to these little puddles and mix it around to kind of make it a little bit more fluid. Here I am adding a brush full of water and possibly a few more to each color. This is going to make it easier to paint our dry ceramic art. Whenever you're not using a brush today, get it in the water. So I'm even starting with adding some water to the outside of my figurine. This is going to allow me to cover it with paint, and there won't be little missing paint areas. And now that it is wet, it's ready for me to add some color. A paintbrush is pretty wonderful because when you tap with those bristles, they're able to go and reach into little nooks and crannies that you normally wouldn't think you could get to. The more tapping you do for painting your figurine, the more coverage you're going to get on your figurine. So notice that because I've been using all this water, it's a very light color. When we're painting and we begin with a light base coat, that gives us flexibility to do a couple different things. One, we could go darker with a second layer. We could keep it translucent, or we can add more color on top, a different color. So here I am washing my brush, pouncing it in the water, scraping it on the lip of the water cup, and now I'm gonna mix myself up a new color. One of my asks for you during this painting project is to mix up your own colors, to try not use any color plain by itself. You have access to a few different sizes of brush. Right here I'm using a very small brush to get the interior of my little pupils on my eyes here. And then I make sure and keep that brush in the water or wash it thoroughly right after using acrylic paint on these brushes. Oh, I even watered it down to add some darkness inside of the mouth area. So lots of options with layers of color and mixing your own colors. I decided to mix in some of the back color with the mouth color and add some more brightness around the front. Whenever you see an area that you can't reach with your brush, try adding water to your brush, and it'll help spread the color around. Right here is a great area where having a pretty wet brush and then lots of tapping of my bristles without being too rough on that paintbrush helps get in and get everything nice and coated with color. Before I can say I am finished, I will make sure that every square inch is colored with some kind of paint. I used a whitish color to even color the remaining unpainted parts of my project. I think you guys are going to have a lot of fun. Just keep on working the whole class period until everything is coated in paint. And then make sure brushes are soaking at the end.